If you could take one memory with you when you die, what would it be? Would it be the birth of your child, your wedding, or just a pleasant memory from childhood? That's the question that Kore-eda's 1998 film Afterlife attempts to explore. Minor spoilers ahead. The premise is simple. 23 people who have just died are sent to the afterlife. Rather than a shimmering paradise, it's a simple way station, beaten down and forgotten. Once they arrive, they are asked by the employees of the building to pick one memory to take with them in the afterlife, forever living within that one moment. The film largely follows two young counselors on this way station, Takashi and Shiori. Takashi has been working here for quite some time, but Shiori is new to the job. Each of them are assigned a number of newly deceased people from all walks of life. This is where the film begins to show its ethos. Many of these people live lives they were largely unhappy with, but all of their chosen memories are recounted with a gentle nostalgia. A prostitute describes a client who was kind to her. A man who was on the brink of suicide recalls what made him step off the ledge. My favorite memory in this film is a perfect example of how funny this movie is at times. A soldier who fought in World War II recalls being on the brink of starvation when he is captured by American soldiers. They give him salted rice, and upon realizing that he might be able to get more stuff from them, he asks,
"Give me cigarette やったんですよ."
I'm really not doing the moment justice, but it's a brief moment of levity in a movie otherwise overcome with melancholy. The film largely centers Shiori and Takashi dealing with two different clients. The first is a character named Watanabe, who lived a seemingly inconsequential life, leading to him having trouble choosing a memory to take with him. Takashi gives the man videotapes containing his entire life, hoping to find inspiration. When Watanabe opens up about his marriage, Takashi mysteriously attempts to reassign him to another counselor, but his request is denied. The other primary client of the film is Isia, a young man who refuses to choose a memory. The young man decides that not choosing a memory and staying at the way station is fitting for him to take accountability for his life. We aren't given much information about any of the characters' past lives beyond their memories, but we can infer from his character that he lived a reckless, irresponsible life. But before we continue on with the story, we should talk about the equally fascinating production of the film. The film was inspired by the director's childhood experience with his grandfather, who suffered from Alzheimer's. As his condition worsened, Kore-eda saw his grandfather go from having menial slip-ups in memory to getting lost in the streets of Japan. Ultimately, he forgot the faces of his family entirely. This led the young boy to believe that when people die, they lose their memories. This inspired Kore-eda to create the movie, using a fascinating technique. The production team interviewed over 500 people, asking them all the same question: what memory would you choose to take with you forever? Ultimately, the first half of the film used a blend of real stories and scripted fiction, with some of the actors themselves bringing their memories to the film. This results in a fascinating film that is equal parts documentary and fiction, a duality that intertwines with the themes of the film. Afterlife seeks to explore the ever-changing nature of memories. When we remember our lives, what we are really recounting is a fictionalized version of that experience, an unreliable narrative we have conjured in our head. For example, when the counselors are recreating a memory for one of the recently deceased, they realize that the hotel she believed the memory had occurred in had been demolished by the time she had said memory. Despite this, the film doesn't look at our flawed perspectives with any disdain or hate, but rather claims that this is part of what makes life beautiful. Our romanticized recollections of our past experiences is part of what makes us human. The film's format changes in the back half, transitioning into the counselors recreating the memories so that the deceased can move on, holding on to their memory forever. Throughout this, Watanabe still struggles to find a memory. He ultimately chooses a moment with his wife, where they sat on a park bench together after watching a movie. His marriage was complicated, but at the time, they were happy. The counselors recreate each memory individually, using guerrilla filmmaking. They use cotton balls and fire extinguishers to recreate the clouds outside of a plane. They shake a recreation of a train car to give the illusion that it's moving. This is a good time to talk about just how beautiful this film is. Cinematography was done by Tsukida Masayoshi, a veteran in Japanese film. Most of the film was shot on 16mm, but the memories themselves were shot with a plethora of different techniques, including 8mm, 16mm, as well as some memories being shot in black and white. Looking back into Isia, he still remains steadfast in his decision to not choose a memory. By the end, he still hasn't chosen. As the other 22 screen their memories and move on, Isia remains at the way station, becoming the assistant to one of the counselors. This is where the film reveals its big twist. In a note left in his room, Watanabe reveals that Takashi was his wife's fiancé before he died. This reveal explains why Takashi requested Watanabe be transferred to another counselor. Watanabe thanks Takashi for trying to keep this a secret and helping him decide on a memory with his wife. It is revealed that Watanabe's wife would visit Takashi's grave alone every year. This sparks something in Takashi. Takashi and Shiori talk about it, about why he has remained on the way station for so long, prompting Shiori to find Takashi's fiance's chosen memory for him. It's revealed that her memory was on the very same park bench that Watanabe chose, but 3 years prior with Takashi. This makes Takashi realize that his life did have value, and that he brought happiness into someone's world. With this knowledge, he decides to choose a memory and move on. Before leaving, he tells Shiori that one day, she'll realize her life had value too, and she will move on as well. He chooses a memory of himself from the night before, when he was thinking about all the other employees on the way station, so he will never forget them. With this, the whole crew helps him film his memory. He screens it and moves on, leaving the crew forever. At the end of the film, Isia joins the group, much like how Takashi likely joined several decades before. The film ends on a shot of Shiori, now a full-fledged counselor, preparing to help her first client, inspired by Takashi. I saw this film at a very meaningful time in my life. A close family friend had just died, and I stumbled onto the film by pure coincidence, browsing archive.org. Watching this film helped me come to terms with her passing in a way that I'm not sure would have happened without it. It helped me through one of the darkest moments of my life. And I would be remiss if I didn't at least try to give other people the same opportunity. It speaks to the nature of film that something made in another language 3 decades ago could touch my soul on such a transcendent, universal level. The most important thing I got from this film is this: don't wait. Don't wait. Make beautiful memories today. Make beautiful memories tomorrow. Make beautiful memories until you can't, because you never know when you won't be able to.